Yes guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Coach Indy here. Today's video is all about Manchester United and it's a part two of a two-part series. What can Manchester United prove on the field? Now, if you haven't seen part one already, there's a link in the description below. Go and check that out. It's all about Manchester United, what's going wrong off the field. Today is what Manchester United can improve and what's going wrong on the field. We're going to be talking about things like what players Manchester United can sell, or what their contract situation is like, what formation is best suited for Manchester United. We're going to talk about Manchester United's philosophy and DNA. If you like this type of video, please consider dropping it a like, subscribing to our channel. If you do subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell. We post 2 videos a week. It's all coaching content, football related content. Without further ado, I'm going to dive into today's video. Hope you guys enjoy it. What is Manchester United's philosophy and DNA? Now, I've got some ideas and reasonings, some beliefs I think Manchester United's philosophy and DNA should be. What I will say is it should be things that should stick within the football club, in the fabric of the club, the DNA of the club, a bit of a blueprint, if you like, that never ever leaves the club, regardless if they're winning, losing, or drawing on or off the field. And for me, playing an attractive style of football, an attacking style of football, looking to score goals, looking to entertain, looking to do tricks and skills, making sure it's a real entertainment sort of vibe when you go to the football ground or if you're watching it on TV. Another thing is thinking about giving opportunities to youth players. Now that's a big thing Manchester United have always done. You look at the class of '92, look at those players even more recently. You've got lots of Marcus Rashford, Mason Greenwood, you've got Dean Henderson. These types of players have always been given opportunities, and that should never ever leave any football club, but especially Manchester United, because the academy and the youth team is the heartbeat of any football club. And finally, winning trophies. That should always be a goal of Manchester United, aiming for the biggest and best trophies, whether it's the Premier League, Champions League, even if it's just cup competitions for a few years before they're rebuilding. But winning trophies is an absolute must. Moving on to formations. Now, the first thing I'm going to caveat by saying is formations are 100% categorically irrelevant. Irrelevant, guys. There is no one formation that trumps another. In the history of football, every formation has beaten every formation. That's the first thing I'll say. What I will say is about players, it's about player profiles, it's about attributes, it's about philosophy, it's about DNA, a style of playing. That is the reason why football teams win over another football team. Now, what I will say is, it's just a personal preference of mine. It's probably what I'm used to as a Manchester United fan growing up, Manchester United winning things, is Manchester United playing a 1-4-4-2 or a 1-4-4-1-1 formation is kind of what I think Manchester United are synonymous for. Playing them sort of two wingers, if you like, that kind of like to attack their opposite fullback, and even our fullbacks sort of combining with our wingers and having maybe two strikers inside the box as well, looking for those crosses and cutbacks and looking for lots of chances and creating goals. So the first two formations are kind of, I think, lend to that. And the 1-4-2-3-1, I think that's more of a in-trend formation, something that's a bit more current, but I think it's quite similar to the 1-4-4-1-1. So in this part here, I thought we'd have a bit of fun, but also a bit of savageness as well. So you've got to be having your manager's cap on, your head of recruitment, your club hat on, if you like, to make these savage but fun decisions as well. So we've got 38 players right in front of you. We're going to basically make a decision on whether they should be sold during the summer window, whether they should be, if their contract's running out, should they continue, should it be renewed, should they go for free, etc. Should they be a squad player going forward, i.e. play a game maybe once every 4 or 5 games? Should they be a starting player playing week in, week out, every 3 days, etc.? Should they go out on loan and continue their development, or should they go and get some minutes? Bear in mind it is a World Cup year, and then we've got youth department as well. So whether they should continue with the youth development side of things as well. So let's get into it. We have got David De Gea. For me, straight off the bat, bit of controversy. He should be a squad player. Now, people will say to me, hang on a minute, he's on 350k a week. Why are you putting him as part of the squad? For me, he hasn't kicked on over the last 3 or 4 seasons. I think his performance has massively dipped. And I know he 3 or 4 seasons prior to that, he was outstanding, and maybe even longer than that. But for me, I think he's plateaued quite a bit. He hasn't kicked on. I think being part of the squad would be the best thing to do. And then maybe a year or two down the line, when his sort of contract is close to sort of running out, then we can get maybe a bit of fee for him. And also, if you are going to bring in a new number one, then there's going to be moments where that number one maybe doesn't necessarily performing very well. So we know we've got a capable and reliable sort of number two in De Gea. Henderson, he is going to be a sell. Now that might be a bit savage. For me, I don't think he's ready to be Manchester United's number one right now. I think he could be in 3 or 4 years' time. I think he needs more minutes, more game time, more exposure, more experience in terms of European football under his belt. And maybe Manchester United, if they do sell him, have a release clause in their contract. Heaton, he should absolutely be part of the squad. For me, he's perfect as a number three. He's not going to moan. He's going to obviously fight and keep it sort of competitive in training. So for me, that's a perfect number three. Obviously, he's got the experience and know-how of being at the club as well for a couple of different sort of stints, if that makes sense. Lee Grant, he is going on a free. So that would obviously open up a position for a young goalkeeper or a new goalkeeper. So for me, it's no point renewing his contract. I think Tom Heaton can do that job, whether it be a fourth choice goalkeeper or being the fourth choice goalkeeper and sort of doing his coaching badges on the side as well. Wan-Bissaka, he is going to be a squad player. Now that might be a bit controversial. He hasn't really had the best of seasons this season, but for me, he's got some different qualities that are they're difficult to find in a defender in a modern day fullback in particular. Like he is a defensive fullback. I think they're hard to come by. Obviously, his tackling quality is yet to be sort of desired, if you like, and that's something that he needs to improve on. But his qualities there's certain games that might require defensive type players, whether it be in a back four or back five, he could play in them types of games. So for me, he absolutely should be in the squad. Dalot, he's getting sold. And the first thing I'll just say on the back of this is, because some people think, hang on, why are you keeping Wan-Bissaka and getting rid of Dalot? The reality is, neither of them are good enough for Manchester United. But Wan-Bissaka, like I touched on earlier, he's got qualities that are rare in a fullback in this day and age. So for me, he deserves to stay. And I think Dalot just deserves to go and play some minutes, go and play in Spain, go and play in Italy. So for me, Dalot deserves to be sold. Luke Shaw, now for me, this could be a bit controversial as well, but I actually think he's a starter. I think when he is in top nick physically, mentally, playing well every 3 or 4 days, making sure he's doing all the right things off the pitch, he is one of the best left backs in the world. And when he has shown that, he's been part of the England European squad back in the Euros last year, so I say, and a key component to that as well. And obviously also with Manchester United in terms of European games and stuff as well. So for me, he should be a starter if he gets himself fit, both mentally and physically. Tellus, controversial one, unpopular opinion. I think he should be sold. I really do. I think there's only two attributes that he's better than Luke Shaw, and that's crossing in open play and set pieces. Everything else, I don't think he's better than Luke Shaw. So he should be sold. Brandon Williams, I think he could be part of the squad. I think he's a very good utility player. I think he can cover both fullback positions. He also play part of a back three, and a back five. So for me, that's a sort of a handy player to have in the squad. Varane, he is an absolute starter. He's absolutely nailed on. I won't talk about him too much. It's Champions League Varane, isn't it? He should absolutely start. Maguire, he isn't in the best of form at the moment. I think if he can get to his best form and the team around him is in good shape, in good form, good momentum, good confidence, he could start. But for now, he is going to be a squad player with a view to sort of fighting for that number one position with Varane or another centre back. Eric Bailly, he should be sold. I don't think he can stay fit for long enough. He costs the team in his unorthodox style of defending, and with that unorthodox kind of type of defending, it's kind of chaotic and lacks composure, and that kind of rubs off on the team. And I think because of that unorthodox type of defending, that kind of gets him injured as well. Lindelof, I think he's had ample opportunities to prove himself, and I think he should be a squad player. I think he's more than good enough to be a third or fourth choice centre back at Manchester United, so he shouldn't be sold. Phil Jones, he should absolutely be sold. Not because, well, yeah, partly because he isn't good enough, but also just for the lad. I think he just deserves to go and play and can enjoy his football and kind of resurrect his career a little bit. Tuanzebe, if he's happy to be fifth choice centre half, keep him, but I think he should be sold. Go and play week in, week out somewhere, whether it be abroad or maybe the Premier League or the Championship, etc. Mengi, I think he should go out on loan. I think he deserves to sort of more of an opportunity within the first team, but I think he just needs some minutes, maybe at the Championship level where he plays week in, week out. I think he's too good for reserve team football, or maybe if he's lucky, he could get a Premier League club and play week in, week out. Matic, I think he should be sold. Personally, he's got a year left in his contract. I don't think he's past his prime. Prime Matic is gone. We know that for the last few years. He can't cover the ground. He's slow. He's still probably out of McTominay, Fred, and Matic. He's the best player on the ball for sure. But I think he should be sold. Fred, I think, is absolutely a position for him to be part of the squad. So he can be a squad player. I think there's games where his qualities can be utilised. The work he does out of possession is most of the time sort of overlooked and underrated. So he definitely deserves to be part of the squad. Likewise, McTominay. And what we'll say with McTominay is I think he may be slightly ahead of Fred. Um, he should be a squad player, but if he does get the right player or right players around him in midfield, he could be a starting player. So that could change into a start potentially. Pogba, I think his contract is running out, and I think he should go. I think it suits both the club and the player. He hasn't proven himself over a long sustained period, and what I mean by that is 6, 8, 9, 10 months of really good sort of banging out 7, 8, 9, 10s every week or week in, week out, or every 3 days. I think he's shown spells of 5, 6, 7, 8 games we've done really, really well, and then his form's dipped or he's made a mistake and confidence has gone. So I think all round it makes sense for him to go and let his contract run out and not to be renewed. Fernandes, he should absolutely 1,000,000% start. His numbers are frightening since he joined Manchester United. He can play in a number of different positions and he always affects the game as well. Um, Garner, interesting one, is out on loan at the moment. I think he could be part of the squad. I think if you look at it from the midfield point of view, Matic is getting sold. Pogba's going at free. There's two players going out. Garner's leaving as well. That only leaves three, and I think you need at least five, possibly six in that position. I think Garner could be a good player in that position. He's technically very, very good. He's composed on the ball. He likes to sort of dictate. Whether he's got the physical attributes for Manchester United in the Premier League is yet to be confirmed. Palestri, I think he should go out on loan. I think he needs to go out maybe to somewhere like La Liga or Serie A and just get a year's experience playing week in, week out. Pereira, forgotten man, I think he should be sold. I think he's out on loan in Brazil at the moment. Just needs to be sold, simple as that. He's had ample opportunities, and I think it's the right time for him to be sold. Van der Beek, I think he could be part of the squad absolutely. If you get the right manager, I think he could be absolutely dynamite. He could actually flourish massively in the Premier League next season. Hannibal, I think he should be part of the youth team. I think he needs more development in his game within the sort of the youth team and the 18s, the 23s, etc. at United. Lingard, his contract runs out. I don't think it should be renewed. I think he's had ample opportunities. I do think if he gets the right manager, there's a real good player in there, which we've seen with David Moyes last season. So I think he's going to go on a free. He should go on a free. White Matter, likewise, his contract runs out in the summer. He will go on a free. He's been a good servant for Manchester United. I think he's doing some courses whilst he's sort of playing as well a little bit, not in terms of necessarily in terms of coaching badges, but things sort of higher up within a football club. Ahmad, I think there's a player in him. I think in 2 or 3 years' time, if he gets the right experience, the right coaching, he could be part of Manchester United's first team. But I think he should go out on loan, possibly in the Premier League, possibly in Europe somewhere, go and get a good season under his belt, really develop. Shortar, I think he should stay with the youth team, have another season there and develop amongst the coaches there. Chong, I think he needs to go out on loan, ideally in the Premier League or in a top league in Europe and play week in, week out, play 75, 80%, 90% of the games. Elanga, I think he should be part of the squad. He's yet to, although he's done really well over the last 3, 4, 5 months since Ragnick's come in, for me, he's not proven himself over a long period of time to say he's a starter just yet. So for me, I think that's fair. Rashford, I think he should be part of the squad. I think going forward, he just needs to knuckle down, work hard, find that love for the game again. Hopefully, get the right manager that really believes in him and really develop as a footballer. Because that's one thing that's massively gone against Marcus Rashford the last 2, 3 seasons. He hasn't massively developed. So for me, he should be part of the squad with the view to be pushing to start. Greenwood, for me, now I'm not going to say too much. Obviously, there's stuff going on off the field. If he's all cleared and proven not guilty or or whatever it may be, I think he should absolutely start for Manchester United. I think there's a huge player in there. Obviously, that's up for debate what's going to happen there. So we'll move on quickly. Martial, I think he's done in the main probably not as well as he should have done at Manchester United, but I do think the season he played up front and he scored 20 odd goals. He played really well. He had the right players around him, enough flair around him. Bruno feeding him regularly. So the number 9, I think he did quite well. But generally speaking, I don't think he's fulfilled his Manchester United career. So for that reason, I think he deserves to go play somewhere else. So Manchester United to sell. Again, it has to be savage mentality, guys. Sancho, he absolutely deserves to start week in, week out, or every 3 or 4 days. He is one of my favourite players at the moment. So yeah, he absolutely deserves to start with us on the left, on the right, even as a number 10, which he hasn't really used. He hasn't really played this season yet. Manchester United. Unpopular opinion: Ronaldo should be a squad player. A few reasons for this. Manchester United have to be really, really honest with themselves and be savage about the situation and say, do we think Manchester United can win the title in the next 1 to 2 seasons with Cristiano Ronaldo playing week in, week out, or playing 85 to 90% of the games, him as a number 9? I don't think so. However, I do think we could do well in the next couple of years. He plays maybe 50 to 60% of the games and maybe out wide occasionally as well, and having a more prolific striker. I say prolific, Ronaldo has scored a lot of goals. What I mean by that is a striker that can offer more out of possession and in possession as well. So there's room for Ronaldo, but I think he should be a squad player. And then lastly, Cavani. He should, well, his contract runs out, he's going to be leaving on free as well. I do like Cavani. He's actually more of a striker that I prefer rather than Ronaldo, if that makes sense. I mean, as a duo in their prime, that'd probably be fantastic strike force. But he is going on a free. So that's kind of a bit of an overview of my opinion on what the club should do. Then moving on to this last graph, so we're just going to run through each sort of position, see what the state of players in terms of how many players are getting sold and staying in the squad. So one goalkeeper is getting sold, one's going on a free, 2 part of the squad. Fullbacks, 2 are getting sold, no one's going on a free, 2 in the squad, 1 starting. Centre backs, 3 are getting sold, no one's going on a free. Squad, there's going to be a couple, 1 starting and 1's going out on loan. Centre midfield, we're going to be selling 2 in Matic and Berita. 3, 1 Pogba. Squad, Fred McTominay, Garner and Van der Beek, which is 4. Starting, Fernandez, 1. Moving into sort of wingers and sort of wide players, if you like. So we're selling 1 in Martial. 3, we've got Mata and Lingard, that's 2. Squad, we've got Elanga and Rashford, so that's 2. Starting, we've got Greenwood and Martial, 2. Out on loan, we have Pelestri, Ahmad and Chong, so that's 3. And then youth, we've got Hannibal and Shortai, which is 2. And then the strikers, we're not selling anyone. We're going to lose 1 on free in Cavani, and the squad should be 1 as well. So in total, let's just total all these up. So that leaves 3, 6, that's 9. 9 that are going to be sold. On a free, that's 5 players going on a free. Squad, we've got 2, 4, 6, 10, 13. We've got 5 players, only 5 players that are starting. On loan, 4, and then youth, 2. So that should equate to 38. There's your 38 players, and then likewise, we'll just tally this up as well. So we've got 4, we've got 5, we have got 7, we have got 8, we have got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and then we've got 2. So that's kind of a bit of an overview, guys, of how the kind of my opinion, if you like, and what players should be sold. There could be other squad players that are there, guys, that could get sold, in the following window as well. But you can't do everything immediately. And obviously, there's 5 players that are going out of contract as well this summer. And again, maybe not all of them go immediately. Maybe 1 or 2 of those get their contract extended as well, so for a further year. There you have it, guys. They are some of my popular or unpopular opinions on what players should leave, should be sold, should be part of the squad, should be starting, should go out on loan, etc. for Manchester United squad. Let me know in the comment section below what players you think you agree with or what players you disagree with, and then let me know what departments or what sections or what categories you would put those players in. If you like this video, please do consider dropping a like and subscribe to the channel. We post twice every week, so there's going to be loads of different football related content on the channel. We'll see everyone in the next video.